goddamn Zaku maneuvers like a piece of shit. This heap of junk can compare to that high-powered GM?
Go! Keith! Prepare to advance! Formation 3, let's hit them all at once!
Roger!
Roger!
Here goes!
Hello everyone, it is Adalwolf927 back with part 2 on Gundam Collection 1400 Tactical Battle. On my previous video, I covered some of the rules and gameplay mechanics in the translated rulebook, followed by a demonstration to get us used to the flow of combat and gameplay. Today, we will take a fine comb to the rule set and see if we missed something on our first go. I'll cover terrain types on unit stat sheets, rear attacks, and sniping. But before all that, I'd like to make some corrections to my last video. Right away, we can see I overlooked the rules for making a guard or evasion declaration on our unit. Choosing to evade will give me a +2 to my EP, increasing the chance I will avoid damage. But we do not need a shield to guard. We can make a guard declaration regardless if our mobile suit is equipped with a shield. And on page 6, it states in the damage section that if the unit has a shield, subtract another 1 point from the damage in addition to guard, with a minimum damage of 1, unless modified by a special ability. The GM would have still suffered 1 point of damage, but I made a mistake. Moving on. Alright, let's talk about terrain. Every unit stat sheet has a terrain compatibility label under terrain on the stat sheet. This can read all, land, desert, Arctic, marine, and sky. Players will select the type of terrain they wish to do glorious battle on, and this will be important to factor in how terrain can impair or enhance certain units during the battle. A fun idea is to have a mixture of terrain types on a battlefield to increase tactical gameplay. Terrain effects can be found on page 7 in the core rulebook. One example is the river-ocean terrain, which states that mobile suits without the marine or fly terrain stat on their stat sheet receives a -10 to their MP or movement points. Arctic terrain, instead of hampering movement, shows us that units without the Arctic terrain type inside this terrain receive a -2 to their attack and evasion power, so it's not always about movement. This focus on terrain adds realism and enhances the game by making the player focus on more than just how strong their units are. Very nice. Space battles can only be fought by units with the space or all-terrain on their stat sheets. Players will take turns adding space map features such as asteroids or large space debris, which block movement in line of sight, or stardust and space trash that does not block movement or line of sight but does give units +2 to their EP or evasion points. If you want to get really creative, try adding destructible buildings or other features like frozen colony lakes, which players can decide if they have the same effect as ice features. Letting your imagination go crazy with ideas is half the fun. And if you like Gundam battles, you know that in space is where most of the memorable battles in the Gundam universe occur. Feel free to build an entire campaign in space if you wish. Next, I'll cover rear attacks and sniping. When you attack an enemy unit from behind with either a shot or melee attack, you add +2 to your accuracy. To determine if you are firing at the rear, your unit's front base must draw a line right on the target's rear face of their base to count as a rear attack. You can use a straight edge ruler or tape measure to determine this. Finally, sniping. Sniping allows your unit to sacrifice their movement and adds +2 to their to-hit roll, which, if you position a sniping unit somewhere an enemy has turned their back on them, you can stack both the rear attack and sniping rule to give your attack a +4 to your to-hit roll. Note, there are some units that can utilize the sniping rule in their special ability, such as the Gun Tank Mark II. This unit's special ability allows it to make 2 attacks against the same target with a shot weapon, with double ammo being used, of course. Snipers be sniping. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys are enjoying these, as they are fun to make, and it is keeping me busy during these strange times. Next video, I will cover more special abilities and new type attacks, as well as discussing some powerful, unique units that have their own rules on usage, such as mobile armors and wave rider modes. Alright, have a good one everybody. Happy 4th of July, and Sieg Zeon.